Have you ever wondered if the surrogacy industry is pushing you to spend more than you need to? Agencies often market high end packages that include extensive support, luxury amenities, and added bonuses, creating a perception that these extras are necessary for a successful surrogacy journey. So, this agency advertised this wellness package to surrogates, and it helps to entice surrogates to come into their program, but it also makes other agencies feel like they need to do a similar thing to be able to attract surrogates because then, big wellness packages become normalized. You're listening to Surrogacy Made Simple with Dr. Alyssa Small-Lane, your host. How do you show your appreciation to the incredible woman carrying your child? Imagine you've just received the most invaluable gift imaginable, the chance to be a parent. How would you say thank you? What could possibly measure up to such a profound act of kindness? Now, there's a lot of talk amongst intended parents about what you should do and what's appropriate. There's also a lot of back and forth from surrogates in online groups about gifts that they've received for being a surrogate. Now, I try to keep things here as unbiased as possible, but my dear friend, I have some strong feelings about this topic, and I don't know if I can hold back. When I see intended parents thinking that they're expected to send their surrogate and her whole family on an all expense paid trip to Disney or Hawaii or some other destination, it makes me want to scream and cry. Scream and cry. Here's what sparked this episode. I saw a question posted online from an intended parent trying to get some help. They asked if base compensation factors into decisions for giving a gift to a surrogate after delivery. They said, "We're thinking about a delivery gift and we're having trouble determining what order of magnitude is appropriate. I read about people doing big gifts like trips to Disney or money for vacation or money for college funds. We're paying on the higher side of base compensation for our surrogate. We're paying $65,000 for a first time surrogate, along with other extras like $4,000 for a wellness package, $300 a month for allowance, housekeeping, $1,000 maternity fees. So, what should we do?" And yes, this is something that made me scream and cry. This needs a full discussion because it's so problematic. The gifting practices in surrogacy are leading to some big concerns, at least to me and probably to you. What is expected of you? Are you expected to send your surrogate to Disney or give money for a vacation or a college fund, even when you are giving her $65,000 in compensation? There are four issue points here that we need to discuss. Number one, emotional debt. Two, financial burdens. Three, these cultural shifts. And four, how it's supporting problematic myths. Let's dig into this one. First issue point is emotional debt. You just received the most invaluable gift imaginable, the chance to become a parent after you've spent so much time trying. You've been through so much loss. And here you are, just inches away from receiving the dream that you've been praying and crying for. Or maybe you are now holding that miracle in your arms. How do you say thank you to this woman who gave of herself and carried your miracle baby, your rainbow baby? What could possibly measure up to that? How do you ever repay? Yeah, the emotional debt in surrogacy can be intense. And it's often overwhelming feeling that you have to owe something monumental to your surrogate. This pressure comes from your surrogate's act of carrying and caring for your child, that in itself is a deeply emotional and physical commitment. And it leaves you feeling deeply emotional and maybe even indebted to her. You might feel an intense, intrinsic desire to reciprocate, to give back in a similar kind of way. But how do you give back such a life changing gift? It might make you feel the need to go above and beyond to show your gratitude because, like, how else do you say thank you? Plus, if gifting is part of your culture, then it's natural to feel like you need to give something or do something. You may feel like you are literally in debt and now you owe something to your surrogate. And that's a lot of weight to carry. This is what I mean when I say emotional debt. Kind of feeling like I'm never going to be able to repay this. I'm going to be indebted for life to my surrogate. That is a lot to carry. My goodness. Deciding on a gift that equates to the value of your surrogate's contribution is stressful. How are you supposed to do that? Issue point two is the financial burdens. Surrogacy is a journey of hope and immense joy, but it's also a huge financial commitment. Have you ever felt the weight of every dollar you're spending, wondering how far your budget can stretch? Surrogacy is expensive. The average cost of surrogacy has gone up. It used to be eighty to $100,000. Today in 2024, it's more like 150 to 200,000. It's not unreasonable or unheard of for someone to end up paying $250,000 to be a parent. You are already paying a lot in compensation. For this person who made this post, $65,000 is a lot of money. You might already be stretching your finances to cover all of these expenses. You're covering not just surrogate compensation, but fees at the fertility office, fees for your agency, lawyer, medical insurance, healthcare related expenses. The financial load also increases by adding additional expectations of lavish gifts or extensive support packages for the surrogate. What is involved in a $4,000 wellness package? And so to pay all of that and then now add on a costly gift, that can strain your budget even further. But you feel like you have to do it because there is a big level of peer pressure. And this is peer pressure from people you don't even know and probably have never met. But you just hear about other intended parents giving extravagant gifts, trips to Disney, new cars. And it sets the bar so high, leading you to feel that you need to spend at a similar level to be able to adequately express your gratitude or to show that you really care for your surrogate. And if you don't, then what does that say about you? Does that mean that you're ungrateful? Does that mean that you're cheap? No one wants to feel ungrateful or cheap. So that might make you overspend, which can impact your financial stability. Not all intended parents have the same financial resources. You might find yourself comparing your abilities to give an extravagant gift to the abilities of wealthier individuals. You have no idea who the intended parents are, who are sending their surrogate and their family on these kinds of trips. This type of pressure can be really discouraging and stressful. Now, how do you pay to send a family to Disney knowing that you're digging yourself into so much debt that your child may never meet Mickey or never dress up like a princess and have a tea party with Cinderella? Every additional cost affects your long term financial planning including saving for the future expenses of your child. Issue point 3 is industry influence and cultural shifts. Have you ever wondered if the surrogacy industry is pushing you to spend more than you need to? Agencies often market high end packages that include extensive support, luxury amenities, and added bonuses, creating a perception that these extras are necessary for a successful surrogacy journey. So, this agency advertised this wellness package to surrogates, and it helps to entice surrogates to come into their program, but it also makes other agencies feel like they need to do a similar thing to be able to attract surrogates, because then, big wellness packages become normalized. And you can see this played out when you go on agency websites and look at what they're offering surrogates. You may see things like these $4,000 wellness packages. I mean, if you're on the surrogate side of the website, you probably won't see the cost, but you may see what the wellness package involves. And just know that you're the one that's going to be paying for that. It's easy to see why surrogates expect to receive and intended parents expect to give. If so many agencies are doing this, it does become the new normal. The more it happens, the more entrenched it becomes. Many agencies bundle their services in ways that can inflate costs. So, yes, offering wellness packages, but also housekeeping services, acupuncture, chiropractic, yoga, and generous allowances such as $1,000 for maternity clothes as part of their standard offerings. And while these services are beneficial, there are amazing perks. They aren't actually essential, and it does add financial strain and raises expectations. What happens with agencies kind of drives the pace of surrogacy in the US. When a surrogate is thinking about her surrogacy experience, she can sign with an agency who's going to be offering her this wellness package, $1,000 maternity clothes allowance, $300 a month unaccountable allowance, and on and on. Or she can match with you independently. And if you're not also doing these things, why would she choose you over what she can get at an agency? It's only natural that someone's going to want more perks than less perks. Don't you want more perks than less perks? But it's not just agencies. We can't blame agencies for everything that we don't like with surrogacy. These extraordinary stories of things that intended parents do to thank their surrogates are the ones that we like, share, and talk about. And that causes them to grow wings and fly. The more emphasis and attention that we put on these extravagant gifts, the more likely people are to associate that with surrogacy, and those people being you, me, surrogates, everybody. So, intended parents and surrogates see these stories and think, when surrogacy happens, these big gifts are part of the package. Media portrayals of surrogacy can sometimes also highlight these extravagant gifts. And I'm not just talking about like made for TV shows and movies. I'm also just talking about like news networks, local news, who may highlight a story like this. And all of it sets unrealistic expectations for you as an intended parent, because it's you that's going to be trying to meet these expectations. The other thing that's really concerning is that excessive gifting kind of makes surrogacy more transactional, doesn't it? Excessive gifting can unintentionally shift the relationship between a surrogate and her intended parent, so a surrogate and you, from one that is mutual respect, partnership, deep connection, lasting bonds, to one that is transactional, where somebody is being a surrogate for big gifts and money. That's it. And that's not why most of us take part in these relationships. Some people do come to surrogacy already thinking of it as a transactional relationship, But that's not most of us. Most of us want to have a connection with our surrogate. We want to bond with our intended parents, but the landscape of surrogacy is changing to become more transactional when these things happen. And that rolls straight into pressure point 4. This kind of gifting gives credibility to myths that surrogates are just in it for the money. When stories of high profile, extravagant surrogate gifts start circulating in local news, on social media, it can skew the public perception of what surrogacy involves. People already think that surrogates are in it for the money, one, and two, that intended parents are super wealthy. How do you combat that kind of myth when intended parents are giving cars and all expense paid trips? Surrogates complain about being called money hungry. For surrogates that are in it because they really want to help another person have the family of their dreams, because they want to bond with intended parents, because they want to see new life happen and be part of this amazing experience, it kind of diminishes how people see what they've done. People just hear that they're a surrogate and make these kinds of assumptions. Oh, she's a surrogate because she wanted to make $80,000 and get all these big gifts. And that's really sad. It just undermines the compassionate reasons that many women choose to become surrogates. Yes, the financial benefit is part of it. That's an amazing perk, but it's not the only reason or even the key reason for a lot of surrogates. Other thing that is concerning is that it's not just other people outside of the surrogacy world that start to believe myths that surrogates are just in it for the money and what they can get out of intended parents. These thoughts actually also seep into the mind of intended parents themselves. And it can lead to a lack of appreciation for a surrogate's emotional investment in the journey. So if you're an intended parent and you're trying to meet different surrogates, you're talking to surrogates, you're on a surrogacy journey, and you think that your surrogate is just money hungry and she's only in it to get a big compensation and a huge payday at the end of it, you are totally missing her compassion, her emotional connection, the fact that she wants to bond with you. If you think that just because your surrogate is being paid money on time through escrow and you've arranged for some big bonuses, that you've given her what she's looking to get out of this surrogacy experience, you would be wrong. Especially if you've matched with someone who is a warm romantic or a steady heartbeat type of surrogate, they want to connect with you. And if you're not meeting her there, she's not having the experience that she wanted. She's not able to connect and bond with you on the deeper level that she became a surrogate to do. And it also means that you're not getting the experience that you signed up for. When a surrogate is really connected with you and invested in this process alongside you, it is a totally different experience than one that is just transactional. And the only way to actually understand that, to really feel it, is to form that type of connection with your surrogate, especially if she's a warm romantic or steady heartbeat type of surrogate. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the surrogate personality quiz. Knowing what type of surrogate you're working with, or if you're a surrogate, knowing what type of surrogate you are is going to be key to having an amazing relationship through your surrogacy journey and even beyond. If you don't, then you're going to be missing out on so many critical areas where this experience is not just the destination, but the entire journey is one that you're going to remember and be sharing with your child, sharing with your family for years to come. And when surrogacy gets cheapened into just a transactional interaction, it's so disheartening because surrogacy is amazingly beautiful. So, what's the answer here? My opinion, and this may be a little controversial, but you don't need to give a gift at all. Nothing. You shouldn't feel obligated, and it's not an expectation. We should not shame or look down on intended parents who don't give gifts. Plus, everyone is not a gifter, right? There are many different ways to show your appreciation, and gift giving is just one of them. So you can appreciate your surrogate in other ways. And it should be true to who you are, as well as who your surrogate is and how she likes to be appreciated. Yes, I'm talking about that book about love languages. Surely you've heard of it. If gift giving is your love language, then go for it. Do what feels right. If you're a person of a lot of means, those are your means, and you get to choose how you will use them. But if you're thinking, I want to show my appreciation, I can't afford to send my surrogate and her family to Disney, how are ways that I can say thank you? So here are some alternatives to extravagant and costly gifts that still show your surrogate how thankful you are. And I got 8 things on this list. Number 1 is personalized keepsakes. Consider gifting something meaningful and sentimental, like a custom keychain, a necklace, or a bracelet that marks the journey. 2, you can do a care package. So assemble a thoughtful care package with things like a luxurious bathrobe and bamboo pajamas, slippers, and postpartum supplies. This is practical yet super considerate, and it can provide a lot of comfort and show that you appreciate her during the recovery period. 3, gift certificates. Offering gift certificates for a favorite restaurant, spa, or local attraction can be a great way to encourage relaxation and self care. It shows thoughtfulness and consideration for your surrogate's personal enjoyment and well being. Number 4, handwritten notes. I am definitely a sentimental handwritten note type of person. And sometimes a heartfelt handwritten note can be really significant. Express your gratitude with personal words that reflect on the journey and your surrogate's incredible contribution to your family. 5, homemade gifts. If you're crafty, consider creating something by hand, such as a quilt or a scrapbook. A gift that involves personal effort and time can often hold more emotional value than something that is bought. Then 6, experience gifts. If your surrogate mentioned an interest like photography, consider a glam shoot where she gets all dressed up, or maybe a family photo session. It's such a lovely way for her to remember the journey and also celebrate with her own family. 7 is practical support. Gestures like having groceries delivered, providing a wellness package, or organizing housekeeping services during the recovery period can be immensely helpful and greatly appreciated. And 8, family activities. So, contributing towards a small local vacation or providing tickets for family activities like a visit to a local zoo or a date at an amusement park, that can be really joyful and relaxing, and it allows your surrogate to refocus her attention on her family after spending so much time and effort building your family. All right, my friend, what do you think? Is it appropriate to send your surrogate and her family to Disney? How do you decide on what type of gift? Or maybe you're just still shocked at the thought of spending $50,000 to $70,000 in compensation and thinking, my, wasn't that gift enough? What do you think about the implications of all of these kind of luxurious gifts and expenses? At the end of the day, the essence of appreciation is not about the monetary value of a gift. It's about the sincerity and thoughtfulness behind your actions. Whether it's a personalized keepsake, a heartfelt note, or practical support, or something else entirely, What truly matters is a genuine connection and respect that you share with your surrogate. Well, thank you so much for letting me share this time with you. Until then, stay hopeful, stay informed, and take care.